Hello, it is me once again, and mentioned right now for my idea for the end of for the Brooklyn FC. The end of play after the Division One comes around, and the end up during the promotion relegation stage. Yeah, here's the thing right now. Oh no, yeah. I know already Brooklyn FC is introducing USL C in 2026, which is next season. They end up playing NCU Park, known as Mohammeda's Park. I call it MCU Park for a reason at this point. Yeah, the capacity is like 7,000, but here's the thing right now. Brooklyn has the potential to the end of get up to Division 1. Think about this right now. Division 1. Like I said, yep, Brooklyn has the population because it's one of the boroughs of New York, as you know, and not no New York team yet in the May 2 USL Division 1, so Brooklyn's probably the first to do that. So it's a possibility to do this. And they do have the population, they have the support, they have the culture and anything like that. They got everything there, but at over 15,000 capacity, which they don't have. There, so the Lions kind of think of some sort in the Brooklyn FC that might play 2 to 3 years at MCU before moving to their own stadium. But here's the thing right now, with the idea of some sort. Yeah, Brooklyn, this is not the first time that the end have thought about this, but why not just be... It's not the first time seeing this, it's some sort of why not have a soccer stadium be in the dome? I would say a soccer dome of some sort in Brooklyn. Yes, it's not the first time I mention this, because back in the 60s and 50s, the Brooklyn Dodgers, a baseball team before moving to LA, and they play Abbott's Field, and they were proposing and had renderings and release anything for known as a Brooklyn Sports Complex, aka Brooklyn Dome. Already is in a release of theirs, they end up replacing Abbott's Field for the Brooklyn Dodgers at the time. In the end, it failed because they found the state turning down, and they just moved to Los Angeles, which is there to this day. So here's what the Brooklyn Dome is supposed to look like for baseball of some sort, right? So I kind of think right now, here's my idea for sure. Why not just revive the Brooklyn Dome idea instead of for baseball? Why not just do it for soccer? I'm just saying, huh? You really want to revive a 40 to 50-year-old dead rendering to be turned to soccer? I would say yes. Although domes became popular at this point, but New York City has no dome stadiums. Think about that right now. New York City has no dome stadiums. They do have arenas, but not even a dome stadium. Which is, you can see all we going on right now is with New York Mets playing at Citi Field, which is an outdoor stadium. Yankee Stadium, as I know, is also an outdoor stadium. It got MetLife Stadium, was supposedly built to a dome, and you can guess what? You guessed it, it's an outdoor stadium. So also get Hinchcliffe for the Cosmos. That's also outdoor stadium because it's built in the past. It's older than the Yankee Stadium, but they end up opening because they're built from the Negro leagues at this point. Yeah, New York Red Bulls and Sports History Stadium. Yep, an outdoor stadium, and even Alahad Park for NYCFC is also an outdoor stadium. So, yeah, no New York City sports venues that have built into a dome. So this is gonna be a possibility the New York City's first domed stadium for the event for Brooklyn FC. So you're kind of hoping for to get a New York City's first domed stadium. The only thing that's close to be domed is the Arthur Ashe Stadium there, but Paul this is for US Open tennis, and that's with trackable roof, not a dome stadium. So this could be the first soccer only use for dome stadiums. So they kind of make sense why did they really want a Brooklyn Dome to be home for Brooklyn FC instead. And yeah, this is not the first time in to think about soccer only domes in the past in the world. Yeah. So yeah. Here's a couple of examples. You got Condoms L Dome in UK. You got Watford FC Dome, which is air supported. Soccer Dome Trade Center in Mongolia, which is in China. Dembo Football Field in Raya. And the Emma Rutley's Soccer Dome in Ontario. Here's the thing one now. So it's kind of viewed at this point. You got good examples of that already, so why not just be built a professional soccer dome stadium in Brooklyn, New York? So that's kind of makes sense right now. In the 4 Division 1 for Brooklyn FC. Yeah, the capacity needs to be above 15,000, which they can fit right next door at Barclays Center to the end of some sort. I'll be able to show you right now what I mean about this at the end. I'll show you later on. Yeah, here it is. Here's the map and the detail. Yeah, Barclays Center is right here on Atlantic, Dean, 6th Avenue in Flatbush. So why not just build a soccer stadium right on Atlantic, Portland, Hudson, and even Flatbush right here, but next to they tear down the Atlantic Terminal Mall and even the Atlantic Center's Mall right next to it to replace with like a soccer domed stadium for Brooklyn FC, but next door to Barclays Center. It might be built there instead as my idea. This idea though, it almost copies Oakland with the arena next to the stadium, but the stadium is outdoor, so multi-purpose, used to home for the Raiders and even A's, and then the arena next to it used to be home for the Golden State Warriors. So why not to have us soccer only use dome stadium and next to a Barclays Center, home near Brooklyn Nets, but to get a Brooklyn FC right next door to it, right next door only about Atlantic Avenue there. So yeah, so this is an idea, but you then end up making history. They end of some sort. Because they end up the first USL made dome stadium right next to the indoor arena right next to it. And then a home for Brooklyn FC right next door to the Brooklyn Nets arena. So yeah, this indoor soccer stadium, indoor dome, I try to say, but they end up my help. They're the Brooklyn FC. That they end up trying to some sort because. So why are they looking for like a dome stadium? They ask. Because well, you're not the setting for the end of for USL, as you know already, right? Yeah, like I said, it's well in USL, it's never was sunny and warm in some area, unless in Arizona and New Mexico. In New York City, though, in the start of USL schedule, which is taking January, February, March, April somewhere. As you know by now, this is technically from late winter, early spring. And yes, as you know the location, but in New York City, right? Right across the New England, right? Which it connects also it's also in the tri-state area, which is technically middle states in Connecticut is you not guessed it in New England, which means yes, in late winter, early spring, it snows pretty bad up there. Blizzards are a common thing, and also right top of it as well. And it was really bad winds, and even some coastal flooding because like you have a lot around there. It says winters are usually horrible there. Why did the reason why they need a soccer only domes stadium there for Brooklyn FC to the not only allowed to play in rough environment plus the cold and the start season even late for the season, but also to be the end up allowed to play more games in Brooklyn. But the crowd there, as you know, which was over 2 million, to the end up playing more games in Brooklyn than any other location in about New York at this point in the earlier in season. That will help them to try to pour more crowds for New York in the earlier the season before they had games like the New York Cosmos, New York Red Bulls, and NYCFC. They played there. But Brooklyn's going to be like the first location in New York and before other places else. Starting in February, March, or late January if they want to. It'll do some sort in Division 1. So this is what I think is in the end of what should need to happen in Brooklyn to the end allowed to hold the end of better events in this area. And it comes to the end, by the point right now, per given, and why this plan at the end of the should need to work. So this gives you a lot of clues. Anyway, about the idea with the Brooklyn Dome home for Brooklyn FC for Division 1 USL soccer in the future. So yeah, this is the idea that the end of it should need to do for the end of for sure. So this is from my ideas, because a lot of people will disagree, and otherwise a lot of people will agree. The government will agree, or the government will disagree, but not the public will agree, or a lot of people disagree. This is my idea, so take it as a grain of salt, and then take it what you get for the end of for this point. Well, that's it for the end of for this video. Hope you like, subscribe, and ring the bell to do not miss anything from this. I'm Joshua the Cat Human, and see you guys next time. And I'm out of here. And otherwise, they're gonna get saved by now. And normally say beep beep beep, but also gonna say by now is well, you count you guys on the bright side, and always say you is well. Bye for now.